Representative Tony Gonzales joins us now live from Capitol Hill. He represents Texas' 23rd District, which includes Eagle Pass and more than 800 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border, the largest stretch of border territory of any congressional district. Representative, thanks again for coming on Top Story. You've been here quite a few times talking about immigration. I first want to ask you about this convoy that's headed to Eagle Pass and headed to your district. Are you worried at all that something is going to happen?
Tom, thank you for having me. You know, you've been there. Eagle Pass is not an easy place to get to. It's also not Disneyland. And I get it. Everyone 3 years ago had no idea where Eagle Pass is. And now it seems everybody wants to go there and see it for themselves and take selfies and do all these different things. And I want, as well as the people that I represent, we want to get back to normal. So I do worry that people will come and exploit the situation and escalate it. It's the last thing we want to see. I think we need to have leaders that calm things down, not throw fuel on the fire.
All right, I want to get your reaction to President Biden's proposal to Congress that he wants the authority to shut down the border. What do you make of this sort of rhetoric and this proposal?
It's complete nonsense. I mean, I don't buy for 1 second that the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, can't secure his own border. I mean, it makes no sense. And you know, just look, the previous president, President Trump, President Obama, President Clinton, President Bush, none of them had an immigration package. So you're telling me all of a sudden you need to have Congress in order to do your job? It's baloney. But I will say this, Congress does have a role to play in this. We can't just be throwing rocks and expect good solutions to occur. It's why I'm committed to finding real, tangible solutions. Doing nothing is not an option, but doing something just to say that you've done something is also not an option.
Well, then that leads me to my next question, Congressman, right? So what's going to happen with this bill that's being worked on in the Senate? I know you probably haven't been able to read the bill, right? I know you've probably just gotten highlights. I don't even know if you've gotten that much. But what are your thoughts on what you've learned so far?
I literally, you know, today I spoke with two of the lead negotiators. I'm working on this thing on a daily basis, Tom. But like everyone else, I'm checking the mailbox every single day for that text, right? You know, oh, another day or two and the border bill text is going to be out. We've heard that for 3 weeks. So the devil is always in the details. I am encouraged to see people wanting to have solutions. But once again, I'm not going to just sign on something just to say that we've done something. It has to be meaningful things like deporting people that do not qualify for asylum, like surging immigration judges to the border so people can get their cases heard. And this is something no one's talking about. What about legal immigration, Tom? What about those that want to come over and work through the legal process? What about those that are waiting to have their claim being heard? This is an opportunity, I think, that all of us can come together, but we need to have sensible solutions.
What do you think about some of those limits they want to put on the amount of migrants that are let in, the thresholds in the thousands per day or per week, and that would essentially prompt them to shut the border down? Is that a good plan?
I think it's crazy for anyone to say, to talk about illegal immigration and encourage it at all. The number should always be zero. The number should always be, we don't want any bad actors in our country, folks on the terrorist watch list. The answer should be, we need to absolutely know who's coming into our country. And the facts are, our immigration system is broken. So let's fix it. Let's find a way to encourage those to legally come through, that we know who they are, if they want to come and work and do those things. And let's protect those that are legally fleeing political and religious persecution. And oh, by the way, those that do not qualify for that, let's deport them. And this is how you tackle the problem. It's how every president has done this. And I look forward to working with President Biden to find a solution. But we can't be waiting. We can't wait. The time is act is now.
Congressman, former President Trump is running to be the nominee of your party. He's already put his thumb on the scale when it comes to this bill. Other Republicans who said they wanted a bill, they want some kind of legislation, now suddenly backing off. Are you intimidated by what the president has said? Will you now reject this bill just because former President Trump says he doesn't want it?
You know, I think President Trump is looking at it through the lens of saying, hey, when I was in office, I didn't have Congress put together an immigration bill. I secured the border just fine. And I think he's taking that and he's challenging Biden to do the same. Now, I agree, President Biden doesn't necessarily need legislation to do these things, but it would be helpful, right? It would be helpful if the funds were used in the right way. When you tell me $14 billion, but $12 billion of that is going towards processing more people and only $2 billion is going towards border security, then I'm out. But if you tell me, hey, I need more money for ICE flights, I need more money for immigration judges, I need more money for technology to prevent fentanyl and protect our communities, I'm all in. So this is where the devil's in the details. I look forward to read. Hopefully, the Senate can put together some texts here soon, so that way we can start churning through it.
Yeah, finally, I want to ask you about Secretary Mayorkas. Do you think he needs to be impeached?
Absolutely needs to be impeached. That's why I spent 16 hours yesterday in the Homeland Security Committee at the, at the impeachment kind of hearings there. I'd say this, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, in December, over 300,000 people came over illegally. So whatever we are doing right now is not working, and we need a change, whether that's impeachment, resign, a new person, new policies, something has to give, because Americans are certainly impacted by this.
The Democrats, including Secretary Mayorkas and the president, called this simply a political stunt. Is this a political stunt by Republicans?
I think you're seeing the House Republicans for the first time being united, and this should be a signal to the White House that this is the first of many things to come. So politics aside, something has to change, right? Something absolutely has to change. It's clear to the American public. You poll and everything. This is an 80-20 poll that comes out. People are tired of what is happening, and something has to give. I look forward to working with anyone across the aisle, the administration, on finding real, tangible solutions that can secure our border and encourage legal immigration.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.